In this video, I'm going to explain my Practicum-5 in OS. The first program is single thread which prints welcome message. In this program, we created a single thread using pthread library in C. First, we included the required header files studio.h and pthread.h. Then we define a thread function which contains the task that the thread will execute. Inside this function, we print a welcome message. In the main function, we declared a thread variable using pthread underscore t. Then we created the thread using pthread underscore create. This function starts the execution of the thread function. After creating the thread, we use pthread underscore join to make the main thread wait until created. So this program demonstrates the basic creation and execution of a single thread. The output is printed as data cleansing system installed successfully. The second program is about main thread and child thread. In this program, we demonstrate both the main thread and the child thread. First, the main thread prints a message indicating it is the main thread. Then we create a child thread using pthread underscore create. The child thread runs a separate function which prints another message. Both threads run independently, but when we use pthread underscore join, so that the main thread waits for the child thread to complete before finishing. This shows how multiple threads can execute different tasks within the same program. So in the third program, we see how to create two threads and execute it. In this program, we create two threads. We declare two thread variable and create both threads using pthread underscore create function. Each thread executes a function that prints a message indicating that a thread has executed. After creating both threads, we use pthread underscore join for each thread so that the main program waits until both threads are executed. This program demonstrates concurrent execution of multiple threads. So in fourth program, we create a passing value to thread. In this program, we pass an integer value from the main thread to the child thread. In the main function, we define an integer and pass its address as argument in pthread underscore create. Inside the thread function, we receive this value using a pointer and typecasting. Then we print the received value inside the thread. This program shows how data can be passed from the main thread to the child thread. At last, the fifth program is used to how a thread returns a value. In this program, the thread performs a calculation and returns the result to the main thread. Inside the thread function, we perform a calculation such as squaring a number. Then we return the result using pthread underscore exit. In the main function, we receive the return value using pthread underscore join and store it in a variable. Finally, we print the return result in the main thread. This program demonstrates how a thread can return a value back to the main thread after execution. Thank you.